Alright guys, welcome back. So we are on part 4 of Megaman X4, and now we are starting the Zero side. Now, as I mentioned before, Zero plays completely different from X. He is very few ranged attacks in this game. And also, X4 delves far deeper into Zero's storyline than the little tidbits that we got in the first 3 games. By the way, I hope you really enjoy terrible voice acting.
He is my nemesis. Our rivalry is what gives me motivation in life. Now go. Destroy him. That's an order. But wait! Emergency, all benevolent hunters on call should assemble immediately. Emergency, all benevolent hunters on call should assemble immediately.
Alright, so whereas X has his chargeable buster, Zero has the Z-Saber. He has 3 swings, he also has Jump Slash, and then Dashing Slash. Though actually that's a technique that he learned a little bit later on. Zero does not have the ability to air dash, at least not yet. That's actually a technique that he learned from one of the Mavericks that he fights. Zero actually deals more damage than X does. And as you can see, like I mentioned before, you don't actually need to fight the dragon. It goes away when you break this wall. Alright, the gameplay is, however, all the levels are exactly the same, whether you play as X or Zero. It's just the boss weaknesses are a little different because certain bosses don't give Zero weapons or abilities, but they all give him techniques. Right here, show you what's down here. Extra life and health, and a crusher wall. Easy enough to get out of. And now we are at the boss. It's the big dragon that we saw earlier, just like when X had to fight it. And it's a lot easier to beat with Zero than with X because it recovers from... The enemies on Zero's side recover from the invincibility a lot faster, and Zero's slashes deal a lot more damage. There's also a thing where Zero's first 2 slashes ignore invincibility frames. And there is an exploitable glitch where you can do //dash to reset Zero's attack meter, and then keep alternating between 2 slashes and a dash to have him constantly attack. TAS players do this, or tool-assisted speedruns do this to basically drain an enemy's health in no time flat. You can't actually do it on console, or at least not easily, because unlike TAS, which slows down the game to frame by frame, a human is not fast enough to be able to input the required button presses quick enough to actually do the full dash cancel. Once again, Colonel's an idiot. Alright, so unlike X, Zero does not get armor upgrades. He just gets heart containers, the E-tank and weapon tank, and the EX tank.
Brave soldiers of Replifors, we have all been wrongfully judged as mavericks by the humans. We cannot suffer this indignity and live in disgrace. We will build our own nation of Reploids. But remember, this is neither about insurrection nor rebellion against our human creator. This is about our liberty and security. We must battle for our own individual rights and our own survival. Together we will build our nation, a sanctuary for all Reploids, our own utopia. Let us forge onward towards a new golden era for the Replifors.
I too share the general sentiment. Take heed, we have no other choice. Let us fight valiantly, with courage and pride, without fear, for we are the Replifors. The most powerful army in history!
The general has finally taken action. And now, my maverick hunters, what will you do? I'll be watching closely from here on out.
Alright, so the boss order, I mean, it's best to start with Web Spider, because Web Spider doesn't have any weaknesses on Zero's playthrough, and he gives one of Zero's primary weapon techniques. So we want to get that early as possible, because a couple of the bosses are weak to it. But just to drive home the fact that Zero gets no upgrades, as you can see, the light capsule is gone. Which means no air dash for us, no mid-air hover. which means we have to be a lot more careful with our jumping. Also, Zero has almost no use for weapon energy whatsoever, because he only one of his techniques actually uses weapon energy, and it works similar to the Nova Blast, or the Nova Strike, in that taking damage also recharges it. Now, the Heart Tank is in the same spot as it was in the X playthrough, which is right underneath this, right underneath that trunk, or tree trunk. But in order to get it, you need to get the weapon from Magma Dragoon first, so we'll need to come back here a little later. Or rather, get the technique from Magma Dragoon. Alright, so onto our first Maverick, Web Spider. Nope. I need to pay attention to where those enemies are dropping. Let's try this again. Now, this fight is going a lot smoother than the previous one did. Get off me. Wow. Right on top. Fighting as Zero is a lot more dangerous than fighting as X because you have to be up in the face of the boss. You can't just sit back and fire charge shots from halfway across the screen. Almost got him. Got him. Finally. Okay, that took far longer than it had any right taking. So what it means by the SM button is the triangle button. The square button is your normal attack, triangle is your special attack. What the Rajengeki does is it makes Zero fire a long, or throw out his saber into a long stab that's charged with electricity. It's actually a very powerful attack, but it's also incredibly slow and has a massive lag time. But you can also use it as a third swing of a combo instead of the normal third swing, which significantly reduces its lag time as well. So the next boss we want to go after is Split Mushroom, because Split Mushroom has Zero's most important mobility technique, which is the double jump. And we wanted to make sure that we have the Rajengeki before we fight Split Mushroom because we need it for the mini-boss. If we don't have it, we don't get through the level. But basically, that's the Rajengeki. You can throw it out, and like if you throw it out normally, as you can see, it has a long lag time. But if you put it as part of a combo, much shorter lag time. And also much shorter activation. Zero has the ability to hit enemies above him much easier than X does, thanks to his, thanks to the way his Z-Saber works. By the way, those things are invincible, so you don't... There's no point in even trying to bother killing them. Whoop. Don't feel like getting smashed. Alright, mini boss time. Now, if you remember, we only had just barely enough room to kill it with X. And it's pretty much the same deal with Zero. We only have just barely enough room to kill this thing before it takes all our platforms away. Otherwise, we get dropped onto the death spikes. Now, the Rajangeki can only be done on the ground. It cannot be done in the air. So that makes it kind of a problem, because if you remember Split Mushroom's pattern, he likes to jump on the wall a lot. Oop. Ha ha ha, we're good at this game. And that's how you get that heart container without the lightning web. Oh, we're good at this game. Oh man, it's lagging. There we go. That's how you're supposed to get through that area. Alright, time for Split Mushroom. Okay, so Split Mushroom basically creates these dudes. And then throws psychedelic dust in the air and makes a clone of himself. You can tell which one's the clone because the clone shimmers. And apparently the clone, or the real one, always goes to the left. Not sure, but if that's always the case, but sure, why not? Alright, so Kuenbu is the double jump. And then the Kuenzan replaces Zero's normal jumping slash with a spinning slash, making his aerial capabilities significantly better than they were before. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do one more stage. We'll go after Magma Dragoon to get his weapon, or his technique. Because a couple of the enemies are actually weak to it, and we'll need that to fight them. Specifically, Cyber Peacock. Because the Soul Body doesn't exist in this game, Cyber Peacock is instead weak to Magma Dragoon's technique. And it is a pain in the neck to fight Peacock without it. And now that we have Kuenbu, we can actually do the double jump, and that will allow us to get to the Heart Tank in Dragoon stage. Oops. Spent all that time trying to avoid it. Now, as I mentioned before, you are only allowed one aerial maneuver, and that is either Zero's double jump or dash jump. And then later on, when Zero learns his air dash, that also is an aerial maneuver. So you can either dash jump, double jump, or air dash. You cannot do any more than one of those three. But one thing you can do is, while Zero is doing his spinning slash from Kuenzan, you can rapidly shift him left and right to reverse which way he's facing to deal additional hits. And now, because there is no double Cyclone in Zero's playthrough, or equivalent technique. So Magma Dragoon is actually weak to the Raijin-Geki, though it doesn't cause him to act like he does in X's playthrough, where he actually has a specific reaction to it. Instead, it just deals more damage to him. Only a few of only a few of the Mavericks in Zero's playthrough actually react to his techniques. Which is why we bring in a mech armor. Plus, we're going to be losing this mech armor really soon. And Dragoon is dead. Wow, that level went a lot faster than I was expecting it to. And Dragoon is dead again. For the fourth time now. Ryu-Engine is a rising slash. It's kind of like the Shoryuken, where Zero will actually lift up off the ground. It can actually be comboed into, similar to the Raijin-Geki. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and call it a night tonight, so join me next week on Tuesday at 9 o'clock when we pick up from where we left off on Zero's playthrough and go after the next Maverick, which is going to be Actually, we're going after Cyber Peacock next. So have a great night, everybody. See you next week.